I kid y'all not, I've recorded this video like 3 times. This is my 3rd time. And I've been trying to record this video for not even 3 times. I feel like this is probably like my 10th, even 15th time. I have lost count at this point. Every time I try to record this video, I either feel like I don't sound coherent or my thoughts are all over the place. I feel like I'm rambling. I include unnecessary information, or I don't articulate in a way that feels concise. I also made another channel called Altumigo to help me with getting more comfortable being in front of the camera. I've been wanting to just talk and rant for some time now, but I've been very self-conscious about doing that, especially with this channel. I want this channel to fill my Pisces yearning. So if I do have rants, I want them to be about art or me being in art school. And with that second channel, that's going to be ADHD hyperfixations, a show I probably watched, or anything, just something to help me get used to talking to a screen. Let me get my notes. The last semester that I was in, I want to say like last semester, it's been a while because I took a gap semester. Yeah, I took a gap year. So this is going on, it's about to be a year that this has happened, a year ago. It was last spring semester. I signed up for a introduction to woodshop course, and I was so excited about this class. It really bums me out now looking in hindsight. I was so excited to possibly start working on furniture, or possibly just have a cool professor in woodshop and be able to just expand upon that or whatever. I unfortunately do not have the luxury of being able to be in school full-time and not have to worry about providing for myself. I have to work full-time, and at the time I was a full-time worker on top of being a full-time student. I was very transparent with all of my professors about my limitations and letting them know like, hey, I work from 6 a.m. to 3, and then after that I'm coming straight to your class. I would just be very transparent about what I couldn't and could not do. With this, I wasn't necessarily looking for handouts, but I wanted them to have reasonable expectations. With this particular shop, I relayed the same information to him. What I think was so interesting is the first time that we met, the first day, I told him, I was like, yeah, like I'm really interested in furniture. And he was like, yeah, like I make furniture too. Mind you, the first red flag should have been like how unenthusiastic he was to show me his portfolio. And his work wasn't like groundbreaking work either. I want to say it gave like it wanted to be mid-century modern furniture, but it wasn't. It was just like furniture, drawers, he made closets. It wasn't anything super grandiose, right? But at the same time, I was interested in that because I'm interested in making furniture. So I told him like, oh, if I really enjoy this class, you might see me next semester, because he said that he was going to be the furniture professor for the next semester. So I'm just like, okay, cool, like this is cool. I had relayed to him of my limitations. He said, thank you for telling me, understood. But I felt like it was one of those things where people hear you, but it's not registering in their head the reality of the actual situation at hand. The main things that started to be like, what started to throw me off about this class is that it was introduction to woodshop, right? But I felt like he started having these weird expectations of me to make grandiose work. Your work not even that grandiose itself, but we had a total of like, I want to say 3 projects. Like in my head, I'm remembering 3 projects, and we had a couple of weeks to do each one. Normally in art school, what happens is like they'll say, oh, you have to do this for an assignment. Meet me to tell me about your ideas, and then I'll clear it. And then if you clear it, you're good to go, or they can possibly brainstorm something to give you a better project to work on. Every idea that I gave him, he would be like, that's boring, or let's not do furniture right now. Since furniture was my main focus, I didn't come into this classroom thinking like, oh, I'm going to have to make sculptures and that. I came into this classroom with full intent to possibly gear myself up to start making furniture. I did not mind making boring pieces if that was going to help me when it came to making furniture. I was not within the capacity to make intricate pieces when this is my first time even maneuvering, navigating this medium. Every idea that I had, he kind of shot it down. He would recommend these artists to me, right? And I would look at their work and I'm like, okay, like seems like he gave me complete opposites to what I was interested in. It sucks because like all of my other professors, whenever they would recommend me artists to look at, it genuinely amazed me because I'm like, yes, I love their work. It's so eccentric. It screams the kind of line that I want to do. Thank you for recommending me this artist, what have you. But whatever he was specifically recommending me work, it was just like, this is boring. And you're calling my ideas boring. You're saying my ideas have already been done before in an introduction course. But I digress. What kind of bothered me about this class was how ambiguous the projects were, yet he wanted you to make grandiose pieces. Class just felt more so in the lane of wanting to be a thesis course. Like, you've already been doing woodshop, you've already been making sculptures, you already have a general sense of what you want to make, and this is the class that you refined it in. It did not give introduction. I'll tell you that much. A lot of things happened throughout the entirety of this semester for me. My work schedule changed up where I had to go into office on certain days, and that ran into my classroom time by like a couple of minutes or what have you. And it's because like my job was an hour away, and then I had to drive an hour after my job. And sometimes it would flip-flop based off of the week. And on top of that, I also went through a very traumatic experience, all in which that I was very transparent with, like, to all my professors. Another thing that bothered me with this class is that the woodshop hours, the workshop, were very limited. They were only really open when I was at work, or they were only open for a limited time during the times that I was free. And the most of the free time that I had was Friday through Sunday. The longest that this shop was open was from 10 to 6 on Sunday. Every other day was like, what? I want to say 11 to 4. It closes randomly like an hour. Like, if I could find the times, like, I will put them up and show you just how much this workshop was barely open. Yeah, I was expected to make grandiose pieces. That's another thing about art school, is like, I understand wanting your students to commit to big bodies of work so that they get used to that, but at the same time, just because your work is big does not mean that that automatically classifies it as like fine art. So not only was he aware of my schedule, he was also aware of the fact that the workshop was barely open, and yet he still would give me suggestions that just felt so off from me. Like, it just felt so unrealistic. I wasn't able to do that. I was trying to find ways to be able to work home in my studio, but he was like,
yeah, you kind of got to be in the workshop. Like, I would much rather you be in the workshop.
And I can understand if the workshop was open and I was just scared of the workshop and I wasn't trying to be in it. But like, bro, I literally can't be in the workshop. Something I told you about, you said you understood. Why are we acting like I just said, oh yeah, the sky is blue today? Understood. Like, why are we not putting two and two together? I was suggesting like, oh, I got this little tool to possibly carve at home. He was like,
no, like, I don't think that's gonna work.
I remember that I said it. I kind of wanted to do certain forms. I wanted to play with forms.
Oh, that's already been done.
Is this nigga serious?
Hello? Like, what are we really doing here? I don't care if it's already been done before. I'm here to learn how to work with wood. People have made thousands of chairs. People have made thousands of tables. Thousands of cars. Does that stop people from making new cars because a car was already invented last year? Like, what? You're not making sense. All the advice that he would give me just felt like he was sabotaging me. Prior to all of this, I had asked him for a letter of recommendation. You would have thought that I had spawned into a random situationship and asked them, what are we? The way that he reacted to me asking that. He was like,
oh, like, we don't really know each other that well. Is there somebody else that you can ask? You know, I really do want you to get that money, but like, I just, like, I don't know.
I'm not going to force anybody to do anything that they don't want to. I'm not going to pressure anybody to do anything that they don't want to. I was kind of just like, okay, understood. I ended up not applying for that scholarship. You want to know why? It was a furniture making scholarship, and they would have preferred a wood professor to write the recommendation. Why would I get a photography teacher? Why would I get my fiber teacher to write me a letter of recommendation for a furniture making scholarship where they would prefer wood makers? You hate my fucking guts. I've already locked in the PP game. Got it. All of the recommendations he gave, like I was thinking of doing things that was feasible for me to even do. He kept shooting them down, and every time my projects just didn't live up, like they just looked confusing. It's like, of course they look confusing. I don't want to make sculpture. I understand that this is a sculpture class, it's classified as sculpture, but if you're also the furniture making teacher, what is your beef with me making furniture mock-ups? What is your beef with me experimenting with furniture and making that into a sculpture? What is your beef with that? Literally, some people started to make stools and it was like, yeah, can we refrain from making furniture? All of the assignments that he gave us was ambiguous. Do a project as long as it has this method done. Use a project with the carving tools. And yet this was classified as a introduction course. Introduction course. I ended up getting a C. I worked so hard in this class. I was trying to find ways to work outside of the wood shop when it wasn't open. I was trying to be mindful, or at least open to the artists that he told me about. I was trying to think of more complex ideas, but nothing was coming to me because my whole goal was to, after this, get into furniture. It doesn't make sense for me to deviate from wanting to work on furniture to becoming a sculpture artist when that's not something I wanted to be in the first place. I was getting critiqued on this idea that I wanted to be a sculpture artist, and they was like, yeah, your work is kind of lacking. Of course it's lacking. He's been giving me horrible advice, and of course he's just sitting back there not saying nothing. It's like, you literally set me up, you sabotaged me this entire time. I don't know why you have this beef with me, why you hate my guts, but note it. When it came time for that review, best believe I wrote exactly how I was feeling, and I did not hold back. I feel a lot of times these schools will prey on teenagers or little children coming from high school, and they will make it seem like even though you're paying them money to provide you a service, they're doing you a favor. And a lot of times students will get intimidated by professors. But it's just like, if you are providing me a faulty service, if you are not providing me the resources that you promised me, one, that's fraud, and two, I'm able to critique you on that so that you can provide a better service. I'm going into debt for this. This is my livelihood. You are not doing this for free. I am literally going into debt, taking out loans for you to teach me something, and you're sabotaging me. Like, what are we doing? I was talking to my therapist about it, and I was saying how it felt very classist, and she was coming off with this notion that, sometimes teachers just don't know how to help, and it's because they also lack resources. I get that 100% tenfold. But there is a difference between lacking resources and straight up sabotaging your student, straight up setting unrealistic expectations. All of my other teachers were very accommodating to the best of their ability, so I know that it could be done. But with him specifically, it was so odd because I not only was working my hardest, I was also very transparent. So it didn't look like I was just acting out. I was going through a tough time. And for you to give me a C after you sabotaged me this entire semester, only C that I've gotten throughout the entirety of the semesters, 2 semesters I've been here, it really throws me off and it pisses me off. I'm going into so much debt for a professor to sabotage me. Got it. Got it. The reason why I felt like it was classes, because a lot of times when you're working full time and when you have to sustain yourself, people will see you as not being serious enough because you have to work to survive or work to pay for school, or you don't have people to take care of you while you're in school. And it's like, how out of touch can you seriously be? They think that you have a job because you don't want to be a little poor. I would be homeless. Art supplies cost money. I'm paying for this by myself. And I hate how when I was in transfer presentation and I saw so many older people going back to school, and it's like, you should have a general sense that these people have already established lives outside of this. And if you are willing to accept transfer students, especially on the older end, you should have more accommodations for them. It's so egregious to take our money when you can barely provide resources to teach us and then be like, well, there's nothing we can do. Despite all of this, like, I still want to finish my degree because I only really have a year and some change left. And my goal is to graduate with my bachelor's so that I can potentially study abroad. It sucks because it's not because I lack the work ethic. It's not because I just don't have ambitions for it. It's not because I don't want to lose sleep. I'm a little bougie. It's literally because they don't have the resources to provide me. And I'm tired of people being like, well, we can't help you. Well, refund me my money back. If you are not able to provide me with those resources, refund me my money back. But they're not going to want to do that because they already spent it. But what Maya Angelou say? And still I rise.